I am an African. I owe my being to the hills and the valleys, the mountains and the glades, the rivers, the deserts, the trees, the flowers, the seas, and the ever-changing seasons that define the face of our native land.
What he wanted was to train a new generation of Renaissance leaders who are going to transform the continent.
The key focus of the foundation is to look at the Renaissance of Africa.
To really begin to rethink about the kind of continent they want.
So the importance of this foundation is about thinking and action that's rooted amongst people saying they want a developed continent, they want a renewed continent.
So from that point, even this foundation, the founding person in all respect is Mrs. Mbeki.
Everything was in her hands, and she was very much ahead of us. She was our dreamer.
It is very important for Africa to build capable young African leaders for the future, to take forward the African Renaissance, because the entire concept is around African Renaissance.
The Renaissance for women on the continent is what it should be for people on the continent.
The idea of an institute for the continent, that was a terminology of the time, an institute that would benefit the young Africans to really begin to rethink about the kind of continent they want. President Thabo Mbeki has always been a continental person in his thinking.
You know, the key focus of the foundation is to look at the Renaissance of Africa.
The Thabo Mbeki Foundation was established in 2010. It was established after President Mbeki had left the political offices, the head of state of South Africa. It was established at the insistence of some of his colleagues. They needed a Pan-African institution that will promote the African knowledge systems and African policies, but also to make sure that in the end, Africans find their own solutions in the problems that are confronting Africa.
This is because it's tied into the vision of the patron, President Thabo Mbeki, that it's always been one that looks at Africa becoming a powerhouse economically, socially, politically, and otherwise.
So the importance of this foundation is about creating this place of praxis that's centered around thinking and action, that's rooted amongst people saying they want a developed continent, they want a renewed continent.
The very idea of how to put together this foundation was muted by Mrs. Mbeki. And it's Mrs. Mbeki that approached Professor Pityana at the University of South Africa and started preparing for this platform when President Mbeki has formally retired.
Now, at the time when President Mbeki was coming towards the end of his term, for me, President Mbeki really represented the best of the ideas that I had. I was keen that after he left office, there's a mechanism for him to continue that work, and indeed for researchers from all over Africa to access the work. And so I wrote to President Mbeki as Vice Chancellor to ask if we could have custody of his materials and his papers, etc.
We thought the best place would be linked to an educational institution, because what he wanted was to train a new generation of Renaissance leaders who are going to transform the continent.
And then I had a response from Mrs. Mbeki, who came to see me, and we had a long discussion about what we were planning. Mrs. Mbeki and I then really crafted the position that said what really was needed is an all-encompassing instrument.
So from that point, the founding person in all respect is Mrs. Mbeki. And she did all the work to organize people to join the foundation as trustees, etc., etc.
So Prof. Bijana said to me as I was returning from France, where I was completing my studies, we are going to be working with the Mbekis to establish a leadership institute, would be keen. And of course, I was very excited.
So there she was talking to us about an establishment of a foundation. And we all want to know, what is the foundation going to do? What is it that we want to leave behind? What is the heritage that we are holding for the next generation? What is it that they must honor? Who are these people they must always remember? What history do we leave behind them?
Well, you know what the word Renaissance means. It means the rebirth. And I don't know how anybody can say the rebirth of Africa is outdated. It's a very strange concept. It can't be. Not while the continent is facing the challenges it's facing. We were talking about a rebirth because of the problems the continent has, of underdevelopment, of poverty, and all sorts of problems. That it's got to be born anew.
President Mbeki's intention was that it is very important for Africa to build capable young African leaders for the future, to take forward the African Renaissance, because the entire concept is around African Renaissance. So Timali therefore became a basis on which his thoughts, his ideas, his thought leadership, and his contribution in terms of taking the continent forward became a basis and the ground from which we build that.
When we say Mr. Mbeki wanted to train young people who are going to revolutionize and change the continent, obviously for me, the cutting edge is women. When we started first with International Women's Day, IWD, and Africa Day. And for IWD, nobody was doing it. Government was not doing it. And so we had to start afresh and to say IWD has to be international, not South African.
The Renaissance for women on the continent is what it should be for people on the continent. So it's women's economic inclusion, pushing back poverty, and you can only eradicate poverty if you involve the women and the men on the continent. You can't leave out 50% of the population if you want to ensure that there's real development and inclusive development. But we also want a continent that's free of gender-based violence.
The unique component of the foundation is that we sit at this intersection of thinking and action, that we are spending a bit of time and a lot of time in bringing people together and thinking about what is the state of peace, what is about security at the moment. But simultaneously, we're thinking about what must be done to respond to these. And a practical example, this year, between the 3rd and the 6th of September, we had our second African Peace and Security Dialogue that was looking at peace and security across the continent.
This space, this foundation, is bringing everyone in the room, whether we may be comfortable with those coming in or not, because you can't resolve a conflict if you don't bring all the protagonists into the room.
Congratulations on the establishment of the Thabo Mbeki Foundation. With the creation of the Movement for African Renaissance, you have, during and after your presidency, reminded us all how vital it is to develop the policies and the human capacity needed to enable the people of our continent to realize our full potential. Your foundation's intention to help Africa's youth acquire the skills and tools necessary to create and sustain new development opportunities is truly laudable. We wish this project every success And we are confident that with your will and determination, your foundation will go from strength to strength. I thank you.
15 years on, I think the foundation is known across Africa. Partly, I must confess, because President Mbeki has been very much engaged as a person to intervene to broker peace in conflict situations across Africa.
This endearing and enduring vision that President Mbeki has always held up, this guiding star, both for South Africans and people across the continent.
To see yourself as a custodian of the kind of vision that people such as President Mbeki and Mrs. Zanele Mbeki represent, it's not simple, it's huge. And it's simply to ensure that whatever contribution is made, it's made with the authenticity and integrity required, that it will contribute towards a future that will shape what Africa should be. Because after all, I have grandchildren as well, and I want their future to be one that will be captured through the work of this foundation. This
morning, I opened several files because I was going to talk to Maureen with how did we start and what did we do. I was so proud of the things that I saw in the files, you know, the reports that we had written. When you work on a daily basis, all you are worried is about things that don't work. But for me, looking back, is what I'm very proud of, that actually we did all of this.
I am so continuously committed to the foundation and what it does, what it has become, and the potential that is there. For me, it's about being committed to try to produce something as original as Africa is original. It's not a replica of anything else out there. In other words, what we are seeking is really those thinkers who are African, proudly African, and actually recognize that there is something about Africa that is new and unique, that is constantly capable of transforming the lives of people.
What makes one proud is the fact that since the inception, this foundation is growing from strength to strength, and it has become a force that nobody can ignore. And in the vision of our former chairperson, Dr. Brigalia Pam, it's turning into a movement.
I would like to say to the generations, in order to live a life that is fulfilling, it is important that you also give something of one's self. And I speak because I have had opportunities given to me by other people as well to serve, supported by other people as well to serve. And to remember always that we need other people, no matter what.